Nestled on the sun-drenched shores of the French Riviera, Monaco is known worldwide as a playground for the ultra-rich, replete with opulent casinos, super yachts, and the legendary Grand Prix. But this tiny city-state, smaller than New York's Central Park, started out as little more than an impoverished medieval town built on a rocky promontory, a far cry from the spectacle of luxury it represents today. So, how did the second smallest sovereign nation on Earth manage to amass the highest GDP per capita and some of the wealthiest citizens in the world? Monaco's improbable prosperity can be traced back to the fateful decision of a cash-strapped princess to legalize casino gambling in 1856, then considered a major social vice elsewhere in Europe. This single policy choice set Monaco on a unique economic trajectory that saw it transform from a sleepy Mediterranean backwater into an international symbol of glamour and excess within a century's time. But its rise was not just a matter of luck. It was the product of savvy maneuvering, strategic alignments, and pragmatic leadership that consistently prioritized economic competitiveness above all else. Monaco's origins hark back to 1297, when the powerful Genoese family, the Grimaldis, seized the Rock of Monaco and made it their stronghold. Under their dynasty, Monaco became an independent principality, but the domain they controlled amounted to little more than 2 square kilometers of steep, craggy terrain. Devoid of arable land or natural resources, Monaco's economy was restricted to fishing, citrus, olive, and carob cultivation for centuries. This began to change in 1856, when Princess Caroline, struggling to keep the House of Grimaldi solvent, made the bold move to legalize casino gambling. While considered a moral hazard elsewhere in Europe, Princess Caroline saw gaming as a way to generate much-needed revenue without taxing her subjects. She granted a concession to Napoleon Langlois and Albert Aubert to establish a sea-bathing establishment and gaming tables, creating the forerunners of the famed Casino de Monte Carlo. The plan worked. By the 1870s, revenues from the thriving casino accounted for nearly 50% of Monaco's state income. The casino's success marked a turning point in Monaco's fortunes. It not only filled the principality's coffers, but also began to reshape its identity. Monaco started to gain a reputation as a fashionable destination for Europe's wealthy elite, drawn by the promise of glamorous gaming, grand entertainments, and a very favorable tax regime. The casino's profits were used to fund Monaco's first infrastructure projects, including railway connections to France, modern roads, and grand hotels like the iconic Hôtel de Paris Monte Carlo, which opened in 1864. As Monaco's international profile grew, so did its allure as a tax haven. In 1869, Monaco abolished all personal income taxes, solidifying its status as a fiscal paradise for the rich. This masterstroke of economic policy would prove pivotal in shaping Monaco's trajectory over the next century and beyond. By the early 20th century, Monaco had established itself as Europe's premier playground, a glittering enclave of luxury, leisure, and licentiousness on the Mediterranean coast. Its casinos, opera, and ballets became the stuff of legend, immortalized in popular culture through works like Eric Maria Remarque's classic 1934 novel, Three Comrades, which quipped, "There's no money laundering machine more efficient than the Casino of Monte Carlo. It does the job with sublime elegance." Monaco's economic trajectory took another pivotal turn after the royal marriage of Prince Rainier III to American film star Grace Kelly in 1956. The wedding, described as the marriage of the century, catapulted Monaco to even greater international stardom. Prince Rainier capitalized on the global media spotlight to promote Monaco as an ultra-luxe haven for the wealthy. With enticing tax policies, upscale real estate projects, and high-profile events like the Monaco Grand Prix, Rainier undertook an ambitious land reclamation project in the 1970s, expanding Monaco's habitable territory by over 20% and creating valuable new real estate, most notably the glitzy Larvado waterfront district. These bold land-building initiatives, a hallmark of Rainier's reign, allowed Monaco to accommodate its burgeoning population and create more space for luxury developments. These calculated maneuvers to attract the world's elite paid off handsomely. Today, Monaco boasts the world's highest density of millionaires, with 1 in 3 residents having assets over $1 million. It consistently ranks among the most expensive luxury housing markets globally, with prime real estate fetching up to $100,000 per square meter. The Principality's fabled casino remains a major economic engine, generating profits of 57.3 million euros in 2019 alone. But Monaco's prosperity stems from more than just gambling and glitz. The Principality has astutely positioned itself as a global financial center known for its banking secrecy, investor-friendly regulations, and most notably, zero personal income taxes. This attractive fiscal environment has drawn a cosmopolitan community of ultra-high net worth individuals from across Europe, Russia, and the Middle East. As of 2022, Monaco is home to 12,261 millionaires, 64 centimillionaires, and 3 billionaires in a population of just 38,000. Monaco's rise as a magnet for the mega-rich has not been without controversy. The Principality has repeatedly faced accusations of being a tax haven and money laundering hub. In 2000, a report by the French Parliament described Monaco as a fiscal black hole at the heart of Europe. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, placed Monaco on its 2009 gray list of uncooperative tax havens, though it was later removed after agreeing to OECD standards on tax information exchange. Critics argue that Monaco's prosperity comes at the cost of enabling tax evasion and illicit financial flows, depriving other nations of rightful tax revenue. Defenders of the Principality counter that its banking sector adheres to stringent anti-money laundering regulations and that its unique economic model, while unorthodox, is both legal and successful in fostering a thriving economy. Despite these ongoing debates, it's clear that Monaco's political stability, investor-friendly policies, and strategic economic focus have been key to its success. Monaco is a constitutional monarchy, but real political power rests with the prince as head of state. This centralized authority has allowed Monaco's rulers to consistently prioritize economic competitiveness and swiftly adapt policies to global market demands. The House of Grimaldi has shrewdly aligned itself with neighboring France, creating an enduring symbiosis. Monaco adopted the French franc in 1865, and Paris's strong military backing helped preserve Monaco's independence. Today, Monaco remains a de facto protectorate of France. It uses the euro, delegates defense to France, and relies on the French state for many administrative functions. This strategic partnerships provided a foundation of stability for Monaco's economy to flourish. Monaco's policies and institutions stand in stark contrast to many other microstates and city-states that have struggled to achieve comparable prosperity. Take Nauru, the world's smallest island country, which saw its phosphate-based economy collapse after the depletion of its sole natural resource. Or San Marino, another European microstate known for its lax financial regulations, which has faced international pressure and economic stagnation in recent years. Monaco's success story, while impressive, is not easily replicable. Its unique blend of history, geography, and political alignment have carved it an inimitable economic niche. The Principality's wealth is also highly concentrated. An estimated 28% of the population lives below the poverty line, often in cramped conditions a stone's throw from the opulent residences of the ultra-rich. Nonetheless, Monaco's economic trajectory offers some broader lessons. It demonstrates the outsized impact that strategic policy choices, like legalizing casinos or creating tax incentives, can have in shaping a jurisdiction's economic identity. It underscores the importance of political stability and alignment with powerful neighbors for the prosperity of small states, and it shows how targeting a lucrative economic niche, in Monaco's case luxury tourism and financial services for the ultra-wealthy, can be a path to rapid economic growth. Of course, the desirability and sustainability of Monaco's model remain open questions. Is an economy so heavily dependent on attracting the global elite truly sustainable or equitable in the long run? How will Monaco adapt as international scrutiny of tax havens intensifies and the global push for tax justice gains momentum? As the world grapples with widening wealth inequality and the societal impacts of tax avoidance, Monaco's glittering success story may lose some of its luster. The Principality's challenge in the coming years will be to maintain its competitive edge and allure for the ultra-rich, while navigating an increasingly complex geopolitical and regulatory landscape. There are signs that Monaco's already adapting to these shifting tides. In recent years, the Principality's taken steps to shed its tax haven image, signing on to automatic tax information sharing agreements with the EU and other nations. It's also sought to diversify its economy beyond gambling and finance, investing heavily in sectors like biotech, health tech, and sustainable technologies. Under the leadership of Prince Albert II, Monaco's also emerged as an unlikely champion of environmental causes. In 2006, Prince Albert established the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation, which focuses on issues like climate change, biodiversity, and water security. Monaco set ambitious targets to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. For a country synonymous with fast cars and conspicuous consumption, this green pivot is both surprising and savvy, a recognition that even the playground of the rich must adapt to a changing world. As Monaco navigates this transition, one thing seems certain: the tiny principality's outsized influence on the global stage is far from waning. With its potent mix of glamour, financial clout, and now eco-consciousness, Monaco continues to punch far above its weight. From Grace Kelly to Greta Thunberg, from roulette wheels to renewable energy, the House of Grimaldi's shown a remarkable ability to reinvent Monaco's brand for each new era. The Principality's economic future, like its improbable past, will likely be shaped by this uncanny talent for adaptation and a healthy dose of Monaco's signature audacity. In the end, perhaps that is the real lesson of Monaco's unlikely economic success story. In a globalized world where even the smallest actors can have an outsized impact, bold vision, strategic savvy, and a willingness to take calculated risks can be the ultimate economic game changers. Monaco, for all its contradictions and controversies, embodies this entrepreneurial spirit in spades. As the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats, and in Monaco's case, that tide is a glittering, champagne-soaked cascade of cash, fueling an economic miracle on the Côte d'Azur. The Monaco model may not be perfect, but its impact on the economic imagination of the world is undeniable. In an era of increasing economic uncertainty, that ability to beat the odds may be Monaco's most valuable export of all, more precious than all the gold in Monte Carlo's fabled vaults.